Good morning, good morning. It is November 18th, 8:26 a.m. Markets are roaring. Um, Give me one second here. All right, let's talk about what's going on with these markets. Let's look at let's look at the watch list. Now we have the Russell's up 1.15%, the Nasdaq's up 1.11%, ES is up 0.96%, the Dow's up 0.73, the 10-year yield is up 0.48. What else here we got? The dollar's down, crude is down 1.51%, down $1.23 a barrel. The VIX is down 2%. The VIX is down 2%. Okay? We had some wild stuff go on yesterday. All right, let's look at any leaders and laggards. Now, Snow up 2.82, AMD up 2.18, Meta up 1.84, followed by Nvidia, right? Everything's pretty rocking and rolling. Is there a laggard? Baba. Baba's a laggard. A lot of COVID cases coming out of China. Okay. And what else have we got here? Another leader, Roblox, Salesforce, Qualcomm. Okay, is there a laggard? We have oil. That's it. Chevron and Exxon. All right, sectors. Leading sectors, semiconductors, followed by financials, followed by materials, followed by real estate. And then at the bottom here, the only negative one is energy. Okay, so the market's flying. Okay, now, what's important today? What's important today is OPEX. It's options expiration Friday, the monthly expirations. Okay, so could cause a lot of volatility. All right, I want to show you guys something. All right, I'm going to show you. Give me one second here. I'm going to show you guys the how much options are expiring today, right? So if you take a look at this, okay, there is 2.1 trillion of option expiring today. Okay, there is 845 billion worth of options settling in the AM this morning. 790 of that is the SPX. Okay, in the PM you have 1.2 trillion settling. Okay, majority of that is 405 billion in single stocks. Okay, and then it looks like you have E-minis, 205 billion, SPY, 200 billion. So 2.1 trillion dollars is expiring today. Okay, we're gonna have some volatility. Now the market's kind of pushing real high. We're gapping up. So if anybody had put options today expiring, they could just to cause not further pain close them all. And what would happen was dealers would have to buy futures. Okay, so we could get a violent push even higher up here because of all these options expiring. Okay, just wanted to show everybody that. Let's go back here and let's go to the SPY daily chart. Okay, so yesterday we bounced off this 50% fib and the 9 daily EMA. It was pretty violent. We went up, we went back down, right? So, right now, like yesterday, where did we close? We closed here. Okay, we closed at 34, 39.40, 30, 30, 394. Okay, we're at 397 right now, heading to 398. So we're about up here now. We're about at the highs of this day. Okay, so and we're gapping higher. Okay, so that's very important. Just give me a sec, guys. I'm gonna turn off these notifications. I apologize for that. Just give me 1 second while I turn these off. They're just bothering me. They keep going off. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay. So let's look at Qs. What do Qs do? Similar thing, right? Drop down to the 9 daily EMA, and we closed here pretty much at the lows of the other days. Okay. Where's the Q right now? Qs are at 287, reaching for 288. So they're up here, up at these highs of these 2 days. Okay. Let's go back to the SPY. Let's see where we're at as far as here. Now you can see this yesterday. I said this level of 390 would act is a very important level, and the market could not push through it. It just held it. Okay, it held it like a champ. And now this most traded price of the week, SPY has crossed it. Okay, let's look at the Qs. Now in the Qs, I guess you can call this level right here resistance here, support here, and support again. Okay, I would say that's roughly around 281. Now, most traded price of the last week is right here. We're crossing it in the Qs. Okay, now let's go back to the SPY. We were in balance. We broke the balance lows, came down here. So that means it's a break lower. But now, if you talk about balance rules, I'm not sure if anybody's aware of these rules. Okay, if you break balance, okay, usually you should get follow through. Well, this is called a look below and fail. So we went below, now we're coming back. Now to explain the balance rules, and this doesn't mean it's 100%, but this is generally how they work. If you take the balance area here and here, we broke these lows. Now if we come back and reach the other side of balance, okay, most times you're going to expand the width of the balancing range. So you could take this and say another range equivalent to it, we should be up there. Okay, I did put a trade on yesterday, banking on that possibly happening. I don't know if that's going to happen. Okay, I might put a video out that later. I actually, what the options spreads are called, they're called back spreads. Okay, I put them on when the move, before the move started to happen. Okay, they're low risk, high reward kind of plays. Okay, I'll explain them probably in a separate video, but they're called back spreads. I put them on the call side, okay, in Q's in SPY. So right now they are working out. So enough of that. So I just wanted to explain balance rules. Okay, I don't know if everybody's aware of those balance rules. Let's get into the futures. Okay, no, triple headed monster, right? TNX. TNX is kind of like trending upwards, but not too much. Okay, had a lot of negative Fed talk yesterday. All right, now let's look at the dollar. The dollar is in a range. Okay, we're still caught in this range from 107 to 106, in a range. However, the VIX, it's in a downtrend. Yesterday you can see we popped up, but now we opened here and we're kind of like moving down. Okay, this 22 level, if we hit that today, we're gonna pop even higher. Okay, why is the markets moving today, right? Well, Gap, Macy's had good earnings. Okay, Applied Materials also did. So that's what's causing a bump in the market, as well as Nancy Pelosi stepping down from the House, because now the Republicans are going to control the House, so they're going to be a Republican speaker. I have a theory that I don't know if it's true or not, but just in the SPY, right? We were kind of like, we made a meteoric rise, and it was just kind of like moving, bouncing, bouncing, bouncing. You know, I don't know. Maybe this is the pullback. Hedge funds and everybody wanted to get some pullback to buy for a Santa Claus rally for the end of the year. I don't know, because it just seemed like that hawkish Fed brought us down to a level that was key. We held it, and now what's going to happen is whoever was short here could get squeezed, and we move up to the 200-day moving average. Okay, so let's look at let's look at the futures. All right, just give me one sec. I'll give you my watch list as I'm gonna switch over, and I'll just sweeten this chart up so everybody can see it. Let's go over to that. Okay, so now this is very interesting, right? So yesterday, a huge gap down. So here was that overnight low. We couldn't break it. We opened here, we only briefly went down, and then we came up. Okay, but I know we came back down, but the bottom line is we couldn't break this low. And then we eventually worked ourselves up. And I said this level, I came in and did a market update, this level was key to hold it. Right? So we closed right in this area. Okay? Part of the reason why I put the trade on that I've talked about earlier in options. Okay? Now, look what happened. In the overnight, we came right down, couldn't break this zone, and we've been just moving up. And we crossed the most traded price of the week, and we crossed the most traded price of the 24-hour session, and prices right here with a huge gap up, 39.88, right at these highs here. And remember, it's OPEX today, options expiration. Okay, so we have a large gap, very large. Okay, so that's the high from yesterday, that's the low from yesterday, this is the low from the overnight, this is the high from the overnight. Prices right here, and we're building out nice volume here too. Okay, So this is strong. Okay, this is strong. This might have been the pullback the market was looking for, like I said. Okay, so it opened here. We only briefly went down, and then everybody's long. Okay. Now next week we go into Thanksgiving, so this could be a little early Thanksgiving present if we can gap and go here. Okay. But obviously, always is the key today will be to see if we can hold the most traded price of the week in the 24-hour session, and basically this area, the most traded price of the RTH session. Okay, if we open up here, this should move up. Just to let you know, this probably most traded price will then move up, and that price is 39.85. So I would think, because you can see the volume here and the volume here, it's probably gonna, if we open up here and we in this area, it is gonna move up. Okay, but still I would say this area you want to hold for this market to have some legs to go higher. Okay, now let's look at the Nasdaq. Nasdaq, same thing. Here's those overnight lows from yesterday. There's yesterday's low. Couldn't break this. There's the monster level I talked to you guys about, right? What should the price of the week and the year? That did not get breached, didn't get touched. I said that's the bull bear line, right? Didn't get touched. So when all that hawkish Fed came out, and we opened up, we barely went down, we defended this, and I wanted to see us move up. That's when I put the trade on. Okay, because I said this is crazy. This is the market's pullback to get higher. Now again, the trade is only put on with a lower risk but a high reward. Okay, so here's our most traded price of the week. We're looking at what we're looking at here. 117.68 for the overnight, and this should be all one when it opens. So 117.50. So that's what you want to hold. You want to hold these levels. Okay, the gaps here. Obviously, always want to look at the gap. Here's the high yesterday. Okay, so you always want to look at, can we fill the gap now? If I'm looking at this now, okay, it's always like, if we fill the gap, what do we do? Do we go back into yesterday's range, or do we just bounce off it, right? Or is it a gap and go? Or do we come down and we don't even go to fill the gap, right? That all shows strength. That all shows strength. So a play right now that I could see happening, because the most traded price is right here. I could see us maybe filling the gap, and that's your long. Okay. Okay. Let's look at the hourly charts. I'll give you a little watch list while I do that. Now there's definitely some key levels I want to talk about. All right, let's get into the key levels. That's interesting. My marker's not working. Give me 1 sec. Apologize for that. Why is that not working? That is so weird. Alright, I'm gonna try one last thing, guys. Sorry for this. I just want to be able to mark up the chart so you guys can see it. Yeah, okay. I got it now. Okay. Sorry about that. So, let's see this market, right? Now, what did come to fruition the other day is when I said I got that head, the shoulder, and then I said this neckline, right? Well, that wound up happening, right? That wound up happening, okay? But now we're uptrending. Okay, got a nice trend line here. Okay, we got our high volume node we want to stay above. Okay, now let's look at some levels. Okay, let's look at some levels. Obviously, this 39.90 is big resistance. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, that is a serious level. 39.90. That is a serious level in the futures. Okay, so that's our level to look at. All right, I have an alert set there. That's the level you want to look at. Okay, now we have support at 39.65. Okay, now you can look at this and say inverse head and shoulders. We got a head, a shoulder, a little bit of a weird shoulder, but then that's the neckline, that 39.90. Okay, we break that. We got to come up to this level, which isn't a major level, but move up to 40.17 resist next resistance. Okay, then we got 40.28 above us. But if we knock this level out, that's just going to have a lot of shorts cover. Okay, I mean, we could do something like this. You also can see an ascending triangle happening. We got to fill it up, right? So here's your level. Here's the ascending triangle. We could do this, and then boom, right? So have to see, have to see. Let's look at that Nasdaq. You're gonna notice a cleaner pattern here. Okay, but let's talk about it. Same level, 118.28 is that resistance, just like you have in the ES. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times this level has been tested. Okay, that's a huge level to break. Alrighty, so we have our most traded price of the week here. We want to hold this level. We want to hold that level. Okay, now I'm hoping we don't break it yet. I'm hoping. Okay, you could even look for maybe a bounce off this trend line to go higher if we can't make it. Okay, now pattern wise, we do have that inverse head and shoulders. It's prettier in this Nasdaq. We have that shoulder, we have the head, we have a shoulder, right, and we have the neckline, and you just got to break that. Okay, day cover, then we got to deal with the 119.07 and the 119.59. Then we can go back possibly up to the 100-day moving average, which we had resistance here. Okay, you can see this key most traded price of the year, most traded price of the month held, didn't even get touched. Okay, let's move on and get some scenarios, which I already kind of gave you, but let's get the ES back up here so I can know what I'm looking at here. All right, let's bring it over to the market profile chart. Let's get some scenarios going here. this down a little bit. Sorry guys, I just want to get this chart nice and situated for you guys to give you some scenarios here. So all right, let's do this. Let's do this. All right. So we're gapping up pretty large. All right, we're holding the highs. Okay. Most traded price of the 24-hour session in the ES is here of the week, and we got the most traded price of the week and the RTHS, which is here. Okay, so we have a similar story in both most traded price of the week here in the Nasdaq. Okay, so we have a similar situation, which is good. They're both in sync. Okay, so what I think could happen, okay, this is the scenario for number one. All right, this is going to be a bullish one. So I think obviously we can open here. We're at that key level. Now this is a monster level like I talked about, the 339.90. Now one or two bunch of things can happen here, so I'm going to give a couple little thing here. Obviously we can gap and go, right? Okay, we also could come down here, not fill the gap, and then go. Then we also could take some of this froth off and hold this level and go. Okay, now we could also fill the gap in this case, because it would go through the most traded price. It could still work. You could get the gap fill and go, but I would like to see us hold that level. Okay, that would show strength. Okay, now I'm gonna go with the bearish. Okay, let's do a number two here. Number two. Okay, now that we're almost 100, we're probably about 90% net long in the overnight. Okay, so everybody's pretty much long. Now, say we open up, push up, come back down. Now this is where this will be the opposite, right? We don't hold this most traded price. We do fill the gap. We try to come up again. We fail. Okay, now where do we go? We can go right into this demand zone, which is the overnight lows. And now look at this. The most traded price of yesterday is right here. Okay, we could give us some support here, and then we could go right back down to the 100-day moving average here, and maybe even revisit the lows. I'm not calling for this. I'm just saying if this happens, this should happen, because now you're going to liquidate those longs. Okay, now door number three. Door number three, okay, is this. I think if we hold, okay, let's say we even do this, come down, come up, come back down, and we could start balancing. Anywhere above this level, we balance, is bullish. Okay, so I could see us just holding this level or holding around here, even this. Okay, but key level 39.90, key level to hold right here, 39.60, 70, 39.70 around. Okay, you want it to hold. They want the market to hold that. If we start going to that overnight low, this is the trouble area. This is the trouble area. Okay, you punch through that, we're gonna go lower. Okay, but right now you have to go with the bull side. Okay, let's go over to NASDAQ. Same scenarios. Huge level, 118.28. You'll want to hold the most traded price of the week. You want to hold this, okay? Advantage for the Nasdaq is the gap fill is above that level, okay? So I'm going to give you my bull scenarios. We can gap and go. Okay, we can gap and go. We could come up, hold this, go. Or we could come down, fill the gap, don't go below this level, and go. Okay, that is number one. Alright, bearish scenario. Number two. Very easy, right? I don't want to see this level broken for the bulls. If we do come down, break it, right? Now we're holding below it. Same thing as the ES. Okay, same thing as the ES. Come down to the overnight lows right here. If we break this level here, 116.50 is the most traded price of yesterday, we're going lower. I'm probably going to revisit the lows. Okay, I don't know if that's possible today, but you have to make it a scenario. Okay, door number three. Door number three. Okay, door number three is come down here and balance. Come up, come down, balance. Come down, come up, balance. Just balance. Okay, just balance. You want to, as long as we stay in this area, it's balance. Okay, that means nothing's changed. But today's OPEX, so I'm expecting some volatility. And I just showed you $2.1 trillion. Okay, $2.1 trillion is going to expire today. And a lot of that is coming off in the AM and of SPX expiration. So right off the open, people can be closing their puts, and market makers have to buy futures. Okay, so keep that in mind. That's it for me today. All right. Hopefully everybody has a good day trading. Of course, give me a like. I mean, I appreciate a comment. And subscribe if you haven't already. And hopefully everybody stays green today. And everybody has a good weekend. And I'll try to do a market update today to see what I'm seeing. Okay, and I'm gonna think about doing that backspread options play, the plays that I have on, to show everybody. It's a little advanced, so, but I'll try to break it down and show everybody why I put those on. All right, everybody. I'm out, and hopefully I talk to you later. All right.